It can often be quite easy to talk about climate change in the abstract without recognizing the effect it has on individual lives. Here's one of those stories. Climate change is actually pushing poverty levels higher and higher in parts of rural Kenya. The government over there has declared drought in parts of the country, even as the country's meteorological department is giving a very bleak outlook for the expected rainy season this month. CGTN's Peninah Karibe brings us a story from Kitui County. It's in eastern Kenya. It's one of the counties that's been heavily affected by drought.
The expanse that greets you in Mithikwani village in Kenya's Kitui County, a vast area of parched earth and dried up trees. It is only mid-morning, but temperatures here are punishing. There is not a single speck of green in sight. This is the landscape that covers most of the county, located about 180 kilometers east of Nairobi. On this hot morning, Priscilla Mweni is getting started on her day. It is a standard routine that she follows each day, and most of the work involves fetching water. In Kitui County, water is a scarce commodity which families spend hours looking for. Mweni, however, is lucky. She doesn't have to walk for miles to get it. Just a few minutes walk from her house is a borehole, but she says it wasn't always there.
I would wake up before 6 a.m. I wouldn't even light the fire. I would load up the donkey and hit the road looking for water. I would walk about 10 or 12 kilometers. Once I got there, I would find other people waiting to fetch the water. We would queue for very long hours. We would have our livestock with us and make sure they first drink the water, and then fill up our jerry cans and load them up again on the donkey for the journey back home. I would arrive at about 1 p.m. That's when I would cook breakfast. The children would go to school in the morning without eating anything.
To save herself from a daily 12-kilometer trek, she would use the water sparingly. As for the livestock, they would go for 2 days after that without drinking any water. She wouldn't do the laundry, instead opting to only wash a few essential clothes. That way, the water would last a few days. The county is classified as a semi-arid region. In a year, it receives roughly 71 centimeters or about 20 inches of rainfall. Kitui County receives 2 seasons of rain in a year. There's the first season, which locals call the long rain season, which begins in March and ends in May. And then there's a second season, which begins in October to December. But this year, the first season of rains failed. The end result, dry rivers such as this one. It is one of the 3 main rivers in this area. The local chief tells us the last time water flowed in this river was a year ago. That drought is now pushing the local community further to the brink. The Kenyan government has listed the county among 11 others currently experiencing drought. The local chief tells us the situation is becoming difficult to handle.
Some of them are small-scale farmers. So if the rain fails, I don't understand how the situation will be, not unless we cry for the government to assist.
The lack of water has led to a loss of livelihoods. Mutinda Muyuma is a small-scale farmer who had ventured into onion farming. He tells me he planted the onions on this 1-acre piece of land. Unfortunately, due to a lack of water, they all dried up. Now, he's hoping the upcoming rainy season will be on time and plans to plant maize and beans. Livestock, too, are feeling the pinch of the drought. There's not much for them to eat or drink. Some people have stored up a bit of reserves for their animals, dry maize stalks stacked up on trees, given to the animals in small rations. But residents of this village count themselves lucky. They're among a few villages in the county that have benefited from a Caritas project, a development wing of the Catholic Church, to provide water. They have so far dug 4 boreholes in the area from where locals get a constant supply of water at a meager fee of about $5.
There are times when in our normal engagements with the farmers, we identify a water need. Then from there, we normally engage government professionals to do geology, designs, and then for drilling, we contract, full contract. Then we remain with the works of supervision and ensuring that the communities are part of the whole process, because after the project, we normally hand over the project back to the community.
The boreholes run on solar power, which is plenty here. They're also cheap to maintain. That constant supply of water has transformed parts of this county. Just 18 kilometers away from Mithikwani village, we find Philip Musyoka tending to his crops, a stark contrast to much of the county. He grows everything from the staple maize to fruits and vegetables.
For us, we're not experiencing the drought because we're using the borehole to farm. We have enough to eat and we sell the surplus.
This small piece of land is a lifeline for Philip and his family. With a reliable water source throughout the year, he's able to farm a variety of vegetables and fruits. It's a good indicator of the potential Kitui County has to become food secure. Back in Mithikwani village, Mweni is also planning to farm vegetables. She says she planted these trees to test how well they would grow. She is pleased with their progress and is convinced that she can grow whatever crops she likes. Small steps, but ones that make a difference between life and death in places such as this one. Steps that restore human dignity and spur socio-economic development. Steps that most people in Kitui County hope can be possible to make. Peninah, Karibe, CGTN, in Kitui County, Kenya.